Hey everyone, welcome back to the Tutorium in Intensive English at the University of Illinois at Chicago. I'm Jordan and I'm your grammar teacher. In our last module, we discussed the zero conditional. In this conditional, we'll be looking at in this module, we'll be looking at the first conditional and see how that's different from the zero conditional. So today our plan is we'll look at some sentences that have the first conditional in them, and then we'll learn our grammar rules. It'll be a little bit of review from the last lesson too. So if you saw my last lesson, you know that in conditionals, we have our if or sometimes when clause, and then we have our main clause. So we have these two ideas, our two best friends that need to hang out together to just be the best that they can be. That's what we have here. Well, first of all, let's see what we notice. Okay, our first sentence, if you practice conversation with others, your speaking will improve. If we eat too much cake, we'll feel full. When my friend gets to my house, I'll give her the gift. So, what do we notice? Like I said at the beginning and in my last video, we see these words if, and when at the beginning of these sentences. So, same thing as the zero conditional. We have an if and a when clause plus a main clause. However, zero conditional was talking about things that usually occur, typically occur. First conditional discusses what will occur. We know this will happen. So in the if-when clause, we're describing the situation. And in the main clause, we discuss a future result. Let's look at that again. So if you practice conversation with others, that's the condition. The future result is your speaking will improve. We know that that will happen. If we eat too much cake, we will feel full. This will happen. This is going to be the future result. I know that. When my friend gets to my house, that's the situation, I'll give her the gift. That will most definitely happen. Now, let's look at the grammar a little bit. We see practice, eat, gets on the left. And then on the right, we see will improve, will, that will feel, will give. What's happening there? Well, on the left, we're using simple present. So in the if-when clause, we want to use simple present. And in the main clause, we will use simple future with will. There's our rule. There's our equation. Simple present plus simple future. The if-when clause is in simple present. The main clause is in simple future. We'll talk about why it's important to know which clause uses which verb tense in a second. Now, rule 3, this is similar to our last video. We need a comma separating the two clauses when the if or when clause starts the sentence. So again, let's look at these example sentences. If you practice, you will improve. If we eat too much, we'll get full. When my friend arrives, I'll give her the gift. Okay. Now, if you remember from the last video, we can change these sentences around. So we can move the if and the when clause to the end of the sentence. And in that case, we do not use a comma. This is also why it's important to know which clause uses simple present and which clause uses simple future, because it can change if we move the parts of the sentence. Let's look at an example. So you will improve if you practice. Remember, the if or when clause takes the simple present, has the simple present. So make sure that you use the correct verb tense in the correct clause. Let's look at another one. We'll get full if we eat too much. Now the simple present is at the end of the sentence. That's okay. We just have to know which verb tense is with which clause. Lastly, I'll give my friend the gift when she arrives. And those are all the rules today for the first conditional. I really recommend that you go back, watch the zero conditional video, watch this video again, and then practice with some exercises or practice writing your own sentences using the zero conditional and first conditional. In our next few videos, we'll be reviewing more types of conditionals, so it may get a little bit confusing. Be sure to practice before you come back for those videos, and it will make using and mixing conditionals so much easier. So thanks again. I hope that you enjoyed this lesson. I hope it was helpful, and I'll see you in the next one.